One warm afternoon, Sonic and Amy decided to take a break from their usual adventures and go for a hike in the Mystic Mountains. The idea came from Amy, who had been excited to explore somewhere new and magical. Sonic, always up for a challenge, agreed, even if a quiet hike wasn't his usual kind of adventure. "Sonic, you'll love this place," Amy said enthusiastically as they started their journey. "I read about it in one of Tails' old books. There's supposed to be this hidden waterfall called the Whispering Waterfall. They say if two people stand under it together, they can hear each other's deepest thoughts." Sonic smirked, raising an eyebrow. "Oh yeah? And what exactly are you hoping to hear, Amy?" Amy blushed slightly, caught off guard by the question. Well, it's not like that. I just thought it would be fun. Besides, who knows what kind of mysteries we'll find along the way. "Relax, Amy, I'm just teasing," Sonic said with a chuckle. "But hey, a magical waterfall does sound pretty cool. Let's see if it's real." The trail through the Mystic Mountains was more beautiful than either of them had expected. Towering trees lined the path, their leaves rustling softly in the wind. Wildflowers bloomed in vibrant colors, and occasionally, a gentle breeze would carry their sweet fragrance toward the duo. Amy hummed happily, her hands swinging slightly as they walked. Sonic, always a bit more laid back, strolled along beside her, enjoying the peace and quiet. "So why the sudden interest in a place like this?" Sonic asked after a while. Glancing over at Amy, she looked thoughtful for a moment, then smiled. I just wanted to spend some time together. You're always so busy running off on some new mission, and sometimes I feel like we never really get to just hang out. You know?" Sonic was quiet for a second, processing her words. Amy's enthusiasm and energy often made her seem carefree, but there were moments like now when she let her guard down. "Yeah, I get it," he finally said, his voice a bit softer. "I'm always on the move, but it's nice to slow down every once in a while, especially with good company." Amy's face brightened at his response, her cheeks turning slightly pink. "I'm glad you think so, Sonic." As they continued hiking, the path became steeper and more challenging. Sonic, used to dashing through dangerous terrains, didn't struggle, but he kept an eye on Amy. To his surprise, she handled the hike with ease, determination in every step. "Not bad, Amy. You've got some skills," Sonic said, impressed. Amy laughed, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. "I may not be as fast as you, but I can keep up. Besides, it's about enjoying the journey, right?" Eventually, after what felt like hours of walking, they reached a clearing where the trees parted, revealing a sight that made them both stop in their tracks. The Whispering Waterfall was even more beautiful than any legend could have described. Crystal clear water cascaded down the rocky cliff, sparkling in the sunlight as it fell into a serene pool below. Mist rose gently from the waterfall's base, giving the area an almost dreamlike quality. "Wow," Amy gasped, her eyes wide with awe. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined." Sonic couldn't help but agree. The scene was perfect, peaceful, calming, and full of magic. He felt a sense of tranquility wash over him, something he rarely experienced. "Yeah, this place is something else. Guess the legends were true after all." Amy turned to him, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Do you think it really works? You know, the whole hearing each other's thoughts thing." Sonic shrugged, his usual laid-back attitude returning. "Only one way to find out. Come on, let's give it a shot." Grinning, Amy grabbed Sonic's hand and pulled him toward the waterfall. They waded into the shallow pool, the cool water splashing gently around their ankles as they moved closer to the cascading curtain of water. The sound of the waterfall was soothing, almost like a soft whisper in the background, and the world around them seemed to fade away. Standing side by side under the waterfall, the cool water rushing over them, they closed their eyes and waited. At first, nothing happened, just the steady sound of the water and the soft rustling of leaves in the distance. But then, gradually, a faint whispering filled the air, soft, almost imperceptible at first, but growing clearer with each passing second. Amy felt her heart race. "Sonic, can you hear that?" she whispered, her voice barely audible above the sound of the water. Sonic nodded slowly, his eyes still closed. "Yeah, I can hear it." Suddenly, the whispers grew louder, and before Amy could say anything more, she heard something that made her heart skip a beat. It was Sonic's voice, but not from his mouth, it was in her mind. "Amy's always been so strong, even when I'm too busy to notice. I've never told her, but I really do appreciate everything she does. She's more important to me than I let on." Amy's eyes flew open in shock. Did Sonic really think that? She looked over at him, her cheeks flushed with emotion. Before she could process what she'd heard, her own thoughts seemed to slip out, carried by the magic of the waterfall. "I've always loved Sonic, but it's not just because he's a hero. It's because of who he is, his kindness, his bravery, and the way he always looks out for others. I just wish I could tell him without feeling like I'm being silly." Sonic's eyes opened, and for a moment, they both stood in stunned silence, their unspoken feelings now laid bare. The air between them felt electric, as if the waterfall had unlocked something deeper. "Amy," Sonic began, unsure of what to say. Before he could finish, the peaceful atmosphere was shattered by a sudden eerie silence. The waterfall stopped flowing for a moment, and the pool beneath their feet darkened, its once clear waters turning murky. The ground trembled, and the sky overhead seemed to dim as a shadowy figure emerged from behind the waterfall. The figure was tall and imposing, with glowing eyes that pierced through the mist. Its voice echoed through the clearing like the rumble of distant thunder. "You have unlocked the power of the whispering waterfall, but you must prove your bond. Only those whose hearts are truly connected can survive the test." Sonic's instincts kicked in immediately. He stepped in front of Amy protectively, his eyes narrowing at the shadowy figure. "A test, huh? All right, bring it on. We've been through worse." The figure raised its hands, and the once calm waters of the pool surged upward, forming massive waves that towered above them. Sonic grabbed Amy's hand, pulling her close as the waves crashed toward them. "We've got this, Amy. Just stick with me," Sonic said, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. Amy tightened her grip on Sonic's hand, her heart pounding in her chest. "I trust you, Sonic. Let's do this." Together, they dodged and weaved through the oncoming waves, Sonic's speed allowing them to move effortlessly across the water. But the figure wasn't done yet. Dark tendrils of water shot out from the pool, trying to ensnare them. Sonic used his agility to dodge, while Amy swung her hammer with precision, breaking the tendrils before they could reach them. "We can't just keep dodging," Amy shouted over the roar of the waves. "There has to be a way to stop this." Sonic's mind raced, trying to figure out the solution. Then he remembered what the spirit had said. It was a test of their bond. "Amy, we need to do this together. It's the only way." Without hesitation, Amy nodded. They stood side by side, facing the shadowy figure as the final wave loomed over them. Sonic gathered his energy, preparing for a powerful spin dash, while Amy raised her hammer, ready to strike. At the last moment, they unleashed their combined attack, creating a shockwave that tore through the wave and shattered the spirit's control. The shadowy figure paused, its glowing eyes narrowing as it observed them. Slowly, it lowered its arms, and the water in the pool returned to its calm state. "You have proven your bond," the spirit said, its voice now soft and almost approving. "Your hearts are connected, and your strength comes from that connection. The whispering waterfall grants you its blessing." With those final words, the spirit dissolved into the mist, leaving Sonic and Amy standing together in the now peaceful clearing. They were both drenched and exhausted, but a sense of victory hung in the air. Sonic looked over at Amy, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Well, that was a little more intense than I expected." Amy laughed, wiping a strand of wet hair from her face. "You're telling me, but we did it together." Sonic's smile widened. Yeah, we did. You were amazing, Amy. Amy's heart fluttered at his words, but she simply smiled back, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. As they made their way out of the clearing, hand in hand, they knew that their connection had only grown stronger. The whispering waterfall had not only revealed their thoughts but had brought them closer in ways they never could have imagined.